Okay, first and foremost, I want to give all honors and praises and glory belongeth to my Lord and Savior, whose name is Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahabashai, Bahasham, Waharakah Kodash, and double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone that teach us truth well, and that continue to teach us truth well, and to the hopeful elect across the globe, and to the few, the very few brothers and sisters listening and also learning across the globe. This lesson is going to be a variety of topics. I don't know how this is going to go, but again, that's where the Spirit comes in. Okay, we're just going to trust in the Spirit, and Lord willing, this will be edifying. Okay, we're going to start on Luke 12, and we're going to go straight to let's start at verse 43. Blessed is that servant whom his Lord when he cometh shall find so doing. So who are we servants to? Yahabashai, and we're servants to the Akia. So Yahabashai was saying, blessed is that servant when he cometh shall find doing. In other words, still believing, still having faith. Okay. Of a truth, I say unto you that he will make him ruler over all that he have. Which is what the kingdom. We're going to have different portions, different man. He shall make him ruler over all that he have. But and if that servant shall say in his heart, my Lord delay his coming, and shall begin to beat the men servants and maidens. And how do you do that? By treating them wrongfully. By being tyrannical. Because you're doing that, that shows you don't have fear for the Lord. Begin to beat his men servants and maidens, and to eat and to drink and to be drunken. That's a state of what? Mirth. You start mirthing it, not taking this truth seriously. Even when you come to the camp, you're all giggling like a bunch of hyenas, not really taking anything seriously. Who are you fooling? You're only fooling yourself. This is not a game. This is serious. This is life and death. Because when all hell breaks loose, it's going to be you and Yahushua. Okay? Not you and this man. It's going to be you and Yahushua. This is what we stress in this truth. And the Lord of that servant will come in a day when he looketh not for him, and in an hour when he is not aware, and will cut him asunder, and will appoint him his portion with the unbelievers. This is why we have to watch continually. This is why we have to watch, because it says he shall cut him asunder and appoint him his portion with the unbelievers. Because the moment you go back into the world, or you don't believe, then what? Your class as an unbeliever. Your portion is going to be with the unbelievers, those that don't believe in this truth. And that servant which knew his Lord's will, and prepared not himself. So, if you call yourself being in this truth, that means we know the Lord's will. And what's the Lord's will? To come back, to destroy the enemies, okay, and deliver the nation of Israel. Okay, which are you so-called, I've written a little tribe, a mini 12 tribe chart. Okay, you tribes, okay, you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Indianos. Okay, that consists of what? Negroes, Hispanics, and Indianos, which are descend from Jacob. Okay, and prepared not himself, neither did according to his will, shall be beaten with many stripes. So it's going to be even worse for those that knew. They're going to be beaten with many stripes. They're going to have a more severe punishment. It's different. It's different if you don't know. You're just ignorant. But now we have a much more we have more responsibility. And remember what the scripture says: judgment shall begin with the house of Israel first. It's going to begin with us, because we know. So this ain't nothing to play with. Still got guys not taking this truth seriously at all. Doing this for vainglory, doing this to be seen of men. Okay? And doing this for money. But he that knew not and did not commit things, and did commit things worthy of stripes shall be beaten with few stripes. So the individual that didn't know about this truth, the people in the world, they're gonna suffer a punishment. That's just gonna be what, a few stripes. So the individual that knows better, he's gonna be beaten with more because he knows. He knows the right thing to do, what he should be doing. Bear me just a minute. For unto whomsoever much is given, of him shall much be required. So the more that's given to us in this truth, the more talents you have, the more you got to do. That's why when people get an attitude, oh, why is he doing this? No, bro, the more talents you've been given, the more we have to do. You can't just sit on them talents, because Yahushua sees that. He gave you them talents. So when you're not using them talents, what do you think's going to happen? What do you think he's going to take them talents away from you? Much is given, of him shall much be required. So the more Yahushua puts on your plate, the more you got to live up to that expectation and do what he says. And to whom men have committed much, of him they will ask more. So the more you've been given to do, the more duties you've been given to do, the more that's going to be required. Guys look at this like, oh, it's all easy. No, it's not all easy. Okay? Even for brothers that are known to be diligent, they have to remain diligent because they have several talents. So whatever your talent is, you have to be diligent in the talent you've been given according to your measure. But I have baptized to be baptized. So like, but I have bear me just a minute. Verse 49. I am come to send fire on the earth. And what will I if it be already kindled? Because before Yahushua even makes his return, that fire is already going to be kindled. Because remember, there's going to be World War III. There's going to be missiles flying everywhere. So that fire is already going to be kindled. Okay? But I have a baptism to be baptized with. And how am I straight until it be accomplished? Suppose ye that I am come to give peace on earth? Christians think he's coming with what? Tulips, daisies. When Yahushua comes, he ain't coming with peace. This is what people don't understand. On earth I tell you nay, but rather division. So this is what Yahushua is bringing, division. It's already started. Division in households. It's going to go into that division in households. Division in camps. Okay, remember the house of Dawad and the house of Saul? That's being broken up. Okay, because the house of David is the house of David. The house of Saul is the house of Saul. They cannot dwell together. Okay. So the Lord Yahushua is for division. He's for division. Okay. For from henceforth there shall be 5 in one house divided, 3 against 2 and 2 against 3. Okay, so this is showing you in the last days what would be happening. You wouldn't be getting along with everybody, even your own family. Okay, why? Because of this truth. This truth divides. See, when you're into this truth, it divides. It separates you. That's why another word for what? Holy. It's what? Separation, sanctified, separated, consecrated. The father shall be divided against the son, and the son against the father, and the mother against the daughter, and the daughter against the mother, and the mother-in-law against the daughter-in-law. Why? Because of the truth. And the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And he said also to the people, when you shall see a cloud rise out of the west, straightway ye say, it cometh a shower. And so it is. Okay, so this is what Yahushua was saying. Basically, we're saying, look, you're good when it comes to the physical things, such as when it's going to rain. You can say when it's going to rain. And when you shall see the south wind blow, you say, there will be heat. And it come to pass. So people, they can discern the physical, the carnal things, like weather patterns. Ye hypocrites, ye can discern the face of the sky and of the earth. But how is it that ye do not discern this time? See, Yahushua was getting on the people. All these other things you can pay attention to, you can discern that, but you can't discern the things that are coming upon the earth. This is how blinded our people are. And a watchman ain't going to be going 4 or 5 days without watching. without doing anything. That's not a true watchman. Yeah, and why even yourself judge ye not what is right? So even Yahushua was saying, even amongst yourself, you don't judge what is right. That partiality. Okay? So these are all the signs. These are the signs, man. Okay? Division. The Lord's bringing division. And he's also bringing division in what? This truth. By those that are teaching the truth and those that are not teaching the truth. Those that are compromised and those that are not compromised. Bear me just a minute. That's why, man, we're in some wicked times right now. Let's quickly go to Matthew 7 and 13, Baba Kasha. Okay. We're going to go to Matthew 7 and 13. Enter ye into the straight gate. So, when we're in this truth, there's a gate, but that gate is very straight. Not everybody's going to enter into that straight gate. They're going to try to come in some other way. As it says in John 10 and 10, whoever come in some other way is a what? A thief and a robber. You have men that have crept in unawares in this truth. Okay? Enter ye into the straight gate. So a straight gate is small, it's narrow. Okay? For wide is the gate, and that straight gate represents, when you go into that word straight, a position of difficulty. Narrow, distress, anguish. Okay? For why? Because many individuals, they don't want to go through the straight gate. They want everything nice. That's why when you see someone with the spirit of instant gratification, views, that's not the straight gate. That's a broad gate. That's not the straight gate. Okay. For wide is the gate. Okay. And broad is the way that leadeth to destruction. So there's two gates. There's the straight, which the acceptable way. That's the way to Yahushua. For wide is the gate. That's the way of this world, death, that leadeth to destruction. And it's broad. Why is it broad? Because many people are walking in that broad gate. That broad gate leads to death. Different philosophies. The way of the world. That's that broad gate. That leadeth to destruction. So everybody that's going in that broad gate, they're in the way toward destruction, condemnation, and many there be that go in thereat. So that if there's many that be that go in thereat, that means if you're on the straight gate, that means you're one of the few that's really taking on the sufferings of Yahushua. You're one of the few. Because everybody else, they're in that broad gate. Okay? Doing what they want to do. That's why you got certain men, they're not even going out on the highways and byways anymore. Okay? That's not the straight gate. The scripture says, if you shall say, whosoever shall save his life, shall lose his life. You're not going out into the highways and byways, that you're trying to save your life. You're trying to save your life. So many men, they're not entering into the straight gate. They're doing what they want to do. Verse 14, because straight is the gate, and narrow is the way, which leadeth unto life. So, if you're on the straight gate, that's a good sign. Or that's a good start. But you have to stay on it. Okay? Which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. Because individuals, they see that gate. Oh, no, I don't want to go through that gate. It's too narrow. Let's go to the broad. Nah. That means you're not acceptable. That means you're not an acceptable sacrifice. Because Yahushua, he wants an acceptable sacrifice. He wants those that are willing to go all the way. Verse 15, beware of false prophets. And there's many false prophets in these times we're living in. Bear me just a minute. Let's get the Blue Letter Bible on deck. Be wary of false prophets. Okay, bear me just a minute. Okay, let me quickly get rid of this. Salakia. Let's get in our words. Ready? Because that great millstone, we look up words. Okay, we're not lazy when it comes to studying. Scriptures talk about study to show thyself approved, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed. Because how can you go out into the highways and byways, but you're not even studying? So when someone comes up to you, they can just confound you. So bear me just a minute. What did I want to get? Ah, that's it. False. Quickly go into that word false. So it says, beware of false prophets. So in these last days, the scriptures warn us that there were going to be many false prophets. Not some, many. Okay. Okay, bear me just a minute. Quickly go into that word, false. Okay. Quickly get this up. Yes, alright. Here we go.
Strong's G 5578. Suda prophetes.
It's a tongue tie. It's a tongue tie. Outline biblical usage. One who acting. So what's an actor? A hypocrite. The part of a divinely inspired prophet. Not every individual that claims to be a prophet, because you've got individuals that they may see a man that actually has the spirit, and they may have the spirit, I can do that. No, because if Yahweh hasn't divinely set you up, if you want one of them holy spirits from the beginning, then you're not. That means you're false. One who act in the part of a divinely inspired prophet when you're not. See, divine, what does divine come from? The spirit from Yahweh. He sends it. He gives you the spirit. He gives you the motivation. Utters falsehoods. So what's a falsehood? False doctrine under the name of divine prophecies. A false prophet, a pretended foreteller, a religious impostor. So you got many imposters, you got many pretenders, and it's all coming out. Okay, that's why you got to be careful who you're listening to. Beware of false prophets which come to you in sheep's clothing. Okay, so they appear as false prophets, but they come to you in sheep's clothing. So they will appear to be as the sheep, but they're wolves. Yahweh warned us of this continually. Ravening wolves. In sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves. That reminds me of Matthew 23. Inwardly, what they are full of, what deceit. They are full of what do you call it? Extortion. So they're ravening. These people are about gain. They're about gain. They're about their belly. To raven. To take, to seize. Okay. Verse 16. You shall I'm not gonna put his name out there. One guy, he actually looks like a wolf as well. I'm gonna put his name out there. You shall know them by their fruits, their works. Do men gather grapes of thorns or figs or thistles? Even so, every good tree bringeth forth good fruit. Okay, and the good tree represents what? Men. Okay, when you go into the parable of the fig tree that was cursed, what was that fig tree? That was representing men. That was parabolic of men, because Yahweh cursed that fig tree because it was not bearing any fruit. And the fruit is a product of your work, not just your viewers. Your fruit is what you do, what you put in. That's your fruit. Even so, every good tree bringeth forth fruit, good fruit, but a corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit. Okay? So, even if you establish a camp, you want to make sure the fruit you're bringing forth is what? Good fruit. Because if a tree's rotten, what's the product of that fruit going to be? Rotten fruit. If a tree's well nourished, it's going to bring forth good fruit. A good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit. Neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit. You see? Every tree that bringeth not forth good fruit is hewn down. So those that are not bringing forth what they acceptable fruit, acceptable work, it's just going to be cut down. And what good is it? Once a tree's cut down, what happens with the branches? You put it into the fire and cast it into the fire. Whereby by their fruits you shall know them. And that's what's being revealed. You're going to know the individual by his fruit, his works, his labor, his effort, his dedication, his loyalty to Yahweh Shai. Not just to men, because men can be corrupted. Men can be paid off. Men can be compromised. This is why you got to work at your own salvation with fear and trembling. Okay? Many false prophets. Spare me just a minute. And that's why it says in John, we're going to go to John 1 first, John and 4. Okay. Let's quickly get rid of that. Excuse me. So let's go to 1 John. We're living in serious times. You have to have your eyes opened. Okay? We're in a very dangerous time where men they'll be willing to save their own life. They'll be willing to sell you out. Give your information in. Really got to be circumspect. Yahushua warned us. This is what Paul, the Apostle Paul, and Yahushua, the prophecies he was talking about were our own people, what was going to happen. False prophets. Yeah, the RFID chip and all this was mentioned, but it was the attributes that men would have in these last days. That was something Yahushua was showing us, and what Paul was showing us. First John and 4. Beloved, believe not every spirit. In other words, don't be gullible. Oh, this man, he says shalom to me. He seems like a good brother. He may give me something here and there. No, you can't see. Don't believe not every spirit. Because every man has a spirit. But what spirit is he coming in? Okay. Because certain men are dealing with spirits. Demonic spirits. Okay, and they come amongst the brethren, and they think brethren don't see. But try the spirits. What does try mean? To test. So you've got to test out the spirits. You've got to test out the spirits. And how do you test them? By the word. But try the spirits, whether they are of the Most High. And by what they're teaching. So you try, man, by what he's teaching. Okay. Is it according to what the elder apostles have taught us? If it's not, guess what? That's another spirit. Okay? This whole thing, we need to get together. That's another spirit. Okay? And there's many spirits out in this world. Everything has a spirit attached to it. Everything has a spirit attached to it. Everything. Oh, we're all black. That's another spirit. We need to be unified. That's another spirit. Not all Israel are going to come together. Why are you trying to bring all Israel together when the scripture says 2/3 are going to be destroyed? Whether they are of the Most High, because not every spirit, so it says, but try the spirits, whether they are of the Most High. Not every spirit is of the Most High. You had men that were with King David, you had men that were with Yahushua, and you had men in this that claimed to be in the truth that they weren't dwelling with Yahushua. They were not dwelling with King David. They were against these men. So that's why you have to try the spirits. Because you could be laboring with someone that was against Yahushua. So he's going to be against you. You see how it works. Then you're wondering why there's always tension between you and this individual. Have you ever considered he may be one of them wicked spirits? Wake up. Hereby know that ye the spirit of the Most High, every spirit that confesseth that Yahushua is Mashiach, is come in the flesh, is of the Most High. Okay, so that's the beginning of that faith. You confess that Yahushua is come from the Most High Yahweh. You have to accept Yahushua. This whole thing about the Most High. You think you're just going to go directly to the Most High and not accept the Son? Because you've got many men in this truth that do that as well. Now you have to go directly to Yahushua. Not the Most High. Because the Most High is not dealing with us on that level. And every spirit that confesseth not that Yahushua Mashiach is come in the flesh is not of the Most High. So if you don't believe in the record of Yahushua, he came in the flesh. Because you know you have individuals that just think he was just a spirit floating about. No, Yahushua came in the flesh. He had a biological father, Joseph and Mary. He walked. He walked about. Okay? He drank wine. His father was a carpenter. It's come in the flesh. It's not of the Most High. So if you don't believe in that, you're not of the Most High. And this is that spirit of the Antichrist. That's the spirit of an anti-Mashiach. You don't believe Yahushua came in the flesh. You're anti-Mashiach. I don't believe in he came in the flesh. I believe that means you're deceived. That means you're blessed. That's another son of blasphemy. He came in the flesh. This is what we believe. The hope for elect. This is what we believe. More of you have heard that it shall come, and even now it is in the world. So it says, where of you have heard that it should come? So when is it going to come? Even now it is already in the, so it's already here. You got individuals that are against Yahushua, they're already here. Okay? Not just Christians, not just Buddhists, not just Islamists or whatever you want, not just Muslims and all that. Even people that claim to be in the truth. Because if you don't believe in the record of Yahushua, that makes you what? An anti-Mashiach. Okay? So we ain't supposed to have no dinners with you. That's why it says, try the spirits by the spirits. Okay? So bear me just a minute. Ye are of the Most High, little children, and have overcome them, because greater is He that is in you, that is in this world, is in the world. So the elect, they've already overcame this world. What, through the blood of Yahushua? Ray of the world, therefore speak, ray of the world. So again, you can also identify those that are of the world. The world, what? Has a spirit attached to it. People that are of the world, you can see them worldly spirits on them. Not that we don't all do things in the world, obviously, but there's a difference. They are of the world, therefore speak they of the world. So they are part of this world. And the love of this world is enmity with the Most High. And the world heareth them. So of course, if you're a worldly individual, you're going to get 1,800, 500 views. Because you're of the world. The true prophets were hated. True prophets were not of the world. They were departing from this world. So what? That made them more hated. That means they received more hate of the world because they were not of this world. And the world heareth them. So of course this world's gonna hear you. Okay, of course you're gonna get 31 likes. Okay, good job, good video, because you're of the world. You're not ruffling any feathers. You're a what do you call it? A world-friendly prophet. So of course people are gonna love you. Okay, because you're a false prophet. Okay. We are of the Most High. He that knoweth the Most High heareth us, and he that is not of the Most High heareth not us. Hereby know we the spirit of truth and the spirit of error. And the spirit of error is what? Not receiving Yahushua. Okay, bear me just a minute. He spoke wrong. Bear me just a minute. So let's go straight to Luke 26 and 26. You know what? There's still others. Let's go to 2 Peter 2 and 2. Then we go to Luke. 2 Peter 2 and 2. Yeah, we're not here to be loved by the masses, man. We could care less what you think. Especially worldly individuals in this truth. And how the hell are you going to get on anybody else? But you're not even on the highways and byways. You're in a reprobate spirit. Men are comfortable. Men are doing videos all laid back like this. What's all that about? All laid back like you've made it already. Okay, like you got a ticket on them chariots. Scriptures say you got to endure to the end. Men are comfortable, complacent. Second Peter's, like I said, a lot of men have already departed they've already departed from Yahweh Shai. They're just lingering about. Okay, gathering info like a flipping agent. But the Lord's going to destroy you anyway. Let's go to 2 Peter's 2 and 2. On the right one, bear me just a minute. 2 Peter's. So yes, this is 2 Peter's 2 and... yeah, 2nd chapter. 1 Peter, so like 1 Peter's and 2nd chapter. But there were false prophets among them. Okay, deceitful prophets. The people, even as there shall be false teachers among you. So when was this going to happen? Today, in this time. Okay. Who privily, and what does that word privily mean? Secretly. Let's get this blue letter. Okay. Privily. It's very important to go into these words because it gives you a better understanding of what you're reading. Privily. Bear me just a minute. Where is it? Privily. It's not coming up. See if we can get it in. Alright, yes, found it. Privily. Let's go into that word privily.
Strong's G 3919. Paraisago.
Parasago. So, to introduce or bring in secretly. So you had certain men, they were not ready tried. They never came in the truth the right way. They crept in. Some of these men that came into camps, even in Great Millstone, even in GMS England, some men, they were not ready on the other side. They were just brought in. You may have known that someone may be, basically, you may have brought someone in because they were your friend in high school and they took to the words. Doesn't mean that man's a man of the Lord. It doesn't mean he's a man of the Lord. Because certain brothers, they may knew each other before they came into the truth. That doesn't mean you're a man of the Lord. You may have a brother. You may even came in with a brother in this truth. One brother might be righteous. The other brother might be wicked. Okay. To introduce or bring in secretly or craftily. So some men have been brought into this secretly and craftily. They crept in unaware. Okay. To lead in, aside, introduce, surreptitiously, to bring in. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. So certain men crept up, but they didn't come in the right way. You know when someone's came in the right way because they're tested. Me, I had to stand outside camp? 2 years, maybe even longer. Test, study, do this, do that. And even then, still, when you get into camp, you're still being tested. So a lot of men never came in the right way. They crept up in this truth. Okay? Now they're stuck. Now they're stuck because they really want to be a part of the world. Okay? Let's go into 1 Peter 2. Who privily shall bring in damnable heresies. Shit. Damnable heresies. Let's quickly go into that word damnable, which we know what it means, but we want to further expound. Damnable. Apolia.
Strong's G 684.
Bear me just a minute. No, that's the wrong one. Right, let's quickly. Damnable. You know what? We already know what that word means. Damnable means what? Condemned. Damn means condemned. Damnable heresies. We're going to quickly go into what that word heresies is. Because why is it so important to know these words? Because you may have a heretic that approaches you. You may even have a heretic in your camp. And we're going to go into that word heresy quickly. Damnable heresies. What's a heresy? A heretic. Someone that opposes what's being taught. Okay, the truth. Let's type in that word heresis.
Strong's G 139. Hyresis.
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 Hyresis in the Greek. So now let's look up the word hyresis. The act of taking. So taking what? Men, leading them into the wrong path of destruction, capture, storming a city, choosing choice. So there's certain reprobates that they won't like what's in the scriptures and they pick and choose what they like. That's a heretic. That's a heretic. That which is chosen. A body of men following their own tenets, sect or party. So again, you have body of men that will link up, but they will have different opinions. What's going to happen with that house? It's going to fall because it's not built up on Yahweh Shai. It's built up on falsehood. Of the Sadducees, because the Sadducees believed different things than the Pharisees believed. Okay, the Sadducees, I believe they didn't believe in reincarnation. The Pharisees believed in reincarnation. Dissensions. Oh, look. Dissensions, which is what? That's where you get arguments. Dissensions arising from diversity of opinions and aims. And you've seen groups that try to link up, try to get together, but it never works out. Why? Because they have what? A different opinion. They're not teaching one doctrine. Dissensions arising from diversity of opinions and aims. That's why the scriptures say in Jeremiah, what's it? Not Jeremiah 17. I was going to go on Jeremiah 17:9. Proverbs, I believe is 3. Lean not unto thy own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge Yahweh Shai. So with you doing that, you're not going to fall in that lot of a heretic. Oh, my opinion, my emotions. That will lead you to become a heretic. And the heretic's just going to be destroyed. The people in the world, they just have an opinion, which has nothing to do with the scriptures. Opinions and aims. Like another example, we all need to get together as a nation. That's heresy because the scriptures ain't saying that. A party, a disunion, heresy, which is Greek, a sect. So you have a group of men, that which is chosen, a chosen course of thought and action. Hence one's chosen opinion. Because you have men that will say, well, that's just my opinion. Yahweh Shai does not care about your opinion. If you're not right when Yahweh Shai comes back, if you're not sticking to what he's taught, then guess what? You're going to be condemned. In your opinion. Because you have men that will say that, that's just my opinion. Well, who asks you for your opinion? A tenet, according to the context, an opinion varying from the true exposition of the so-called Christian faith. So the moment you call yourself being in the truth and you start saying, well, that's my opinion, you start what? Coming out. So you start coming up against what? Your maker. Okay? So you got men that are actually in opposition, okay? In opposition to Yahweh Shai and his men. Okay? Your opinion's going to get you destroyed. So let's go back to 2 Peter's chapter. Shall bring a damnable heresies, even denying the Lord. Because these damnable heresies are going to get men destroyed. Even denying the Lord. Because if you're teaching something out of an opinion, that means you're denying the Lord. You're denying what he said. You're denying the records that brought them and bring upon themselves swift destruction. So that's why you got to get away from these individuals. Don't be hanging around with them. Don't be buddy. Don't be chatting to them. Get away from them. Because the judgment is going to befall them. Okay? And many shall follow. This is why you got to read the scriptures. This is why you got to look up words. Many shall follow their pernicious ways. Let's quickly go into that word pernicious. Bear me just a minute. Quickly go into that word pernicious. I had it just a sec ago. Pernicious. Okay, where is it? Okay, let's get it. Pernicious ways. Apolia. Quickly type in that word.
Strong's G 684. Apolia.
Apolia. So you are going to have many in these last days that will what? Be what? Fooled, tricked, duped, manipulated into what? Following their pernicious ways. Apolia. And what does that Apolia sound like? It sounds like hell, which is hell is a fable. Apolia. That word for Apolia is destroying. So there's men that are being set up by Esau and by the spiritual demon Satan to lead men in the wrong path. And one of the ways is also doing that is telling men they don't need to be on fire for the truth. Telling them they don't need to be on the highways and byways. That's a false prophet. Destroying, utter destruction of vessels. So when it says of vessels, this is talking about a boat. It's speaking about men. What's your vessel? This flesh, which your spirit lies in. So there's particular men that are going to follow other men to their own destruction, their pernicious ways. A perishing, a ruin, a destruction. So there's men that are condemned, and now they have the mindset, we're going to try to get this guy to follow us. No, don't give in to peer pressure. Okay? Of money, a destruction which consists of eternal misery in hell, which is not actually eternal misery in hell, because what happens to you when you die? Your body goes into the earth, which is hell, sha'al, and your spirit goes back to the Heavenly Father, and that's where you're judged. Okay? Of ruin or loss, physical or spiritual, eternal, damnable, destruction. So this is why you, again, brothers got to be really, see, that's why we do these videos, to warn you. Okay? If something ain't right, someone's telling you something and it's not in line with the scriptures, question it. Even the Apostle Tahar said, if you have a false leader or a false teacher, you better get the hell away from him. Even Apostle Tahar said that. And Apostle Tahar, you got to remember, Apostle Tahar was kicked out of what? The church. Why? Because he would question things that were not right. Don't be afraid to question things. If something ain't right, question it through the scriptures. Okay? Because this is for your soul. It's what men don't understand. You may be following a man. This man's condemned. And you're following him. What do you think is going to happen to you? That's why you got to be able to hold your own. Okay? And through, bear me just a minute. And by reason of whom the way of truth shall be evil spoken of. So in these last days, men are going to speak evil of the truth. Yeah, they sound extreme. You know, why are they saying this? They sound extreme. They this, they that. You know, rapist and all that rubbish. You know, they'd start talking rubbish. Black militia. No, we're not part of no black militia. Okay, we're Israelites. Okay, so this truth shall be evil spoken of. By what? By wicked men. Okay, they were going to try pigeonhole this truth. You know when you pigeonhole something? Oh, this is what it is. Excuse me, I've got the hiccups. But it's not that. You were going to have wicked men that try to do that. Try to paint this truth in a particular light. A bad light. Which this truth, there's a good light that comes with it. Okay? It's just that you're wicked, you're evil, and you can't understand this truth. So what you're going to try to demonize it. You don't control the narrative. Yahushua controls the narrative. And through covetousness, and there's a lot of covetous men in this truth, they want to take what you got. These are men that they don't even want to go down the narrow path. They see you going down the narrow path, but they want your spirit. They want your gift. They want your talent, even though they're on a broad path. How does that work? And with feign words. Feign means false. Make merchandise of you. And even that, you even got certain men that set up PayPal accounts, extortionists. That's why in Matthew 23, it warns you of these men. Extortionist. Okay? Make merchandise of you. So you got men that will just, they can see what they can get out of you. And I've experienced that as well, but I don't want to go into detail. But you have men that will do that. They're all about the money. They can no longer teach us word unless there's money involved. That means your motivation is not the Holy Spirit. That means your motivation is money. And that makes you corrupt, whose judgment now of a long time lingereth not. So you got certain men, there's just a death angel over their head, ready to slay them. and their damnation slumbereth not, that condemnation. That's why you got to be careful who you are amongst. Okay? Certain men just come into the truth just to get condemned. Okay? Or even come up against certain men and get condemned. So bear me just a minute. Let's go to Luke 6:26, because the true prophets, they were not loved by everybody. Men pushing out this false narrative. Oh, well, good Samaritan. Yeah, I'm hearing certain videos. I've heard certain videos. Oh, just be a good Samaritan and, hold the door for this person. But you're a demon. But inwardly, you're a demon. So what does that mean? That doesn't mean anything. A good person. Yahweh said, who is good? Except for my Father in heaven. Let's go to Luke 6:26. Actually, let's start at Luke 6:20. And he lifted up his eyes on his disciples and said, blessed be ye poor, for yours is the kingdom of the Most High. And we are poor. Okay? The children of Israel are poor. Okay? Blessed ye that hunger now. And what are we hungering for? For righteousness. For ye shall be filled. Blessed are ye that weep now. And we're weeping now. For ye shall laugh. So we're weeping now. The people are laughing now. But we're weeping now. But we're going to be what? Laughing. The scriptures tell you that in Isaiah, somewhere in 60, 64 somewhere, or 65. So right now, we're taking them L's while people are laughing. Okay? But we're going to laugh. But blessed are ye when men shall hate you. So it says, blessed when men shall hate you. Not blessed when men shall love you. It's just blessed when men shall hate you. Okay? And when they shall separate you from their company. So the more, look, this what you gotta look at. If you're being separated, if you're being hated, if people are trying to silence you, you're on the right path. If nobody's saying anything to you, you're just, he's just a brilliant man. The world's speaking good of you. Then something's wrong. You need to question yourself. There's something that you're not doing right. Because you're catering to the world. And when someone separates you from their company, why? Because you're a threat. You make them feel uncomfortable. And shall reproach you. Okay, speak evil of you and cast out your name as evil. Okay, it says cast out your name as evil. Yeah, we need to put some dirt on his name. Say he was doing this. Say he was doing this. So if anybody asks about him, where is he? Where is he gone? Say he was doing that. That's casting out your name as evil. Okay. For the Son of Man's sake, see, it's for Yahweh's sake. It's not so much for anything you've done, because obviously you've been doing the work. It's for Yahweh's sake, because they done the same thing to Yahweh, and this needs to happen so prophecy can be fulfilled. And it says, rejoice in that day and leap for joy. Okay? For behold, your reward is great in heaven. So if this is happening to you, or it's happened to you, that means you got a great reward. For in like manner did their fathers unto the prophets. Whose fathers? Whose fathers? Israelites. This ain't talking about Esau. Israelites. Their fathers done the same thing. So the children of those fathers that done the same thing, they'll be back here doing the same thing again today. You see how it works? That's why you got to read Matthew 23. In like manner did their fathers unto the prophets. But woe unto you that are rich, for ye have received your consolation. So those of you that are rich, okay, in this world, you've already received your consolation, which is your prize. Okay? You got some brothers, are they well off? Yeah, they well off, but they're still in the truth. I'm talking about rich. Where you ain't got no cares in the world, you just got your feet up. Okay, so woe unto you. And that rich also goes into those that have sold out. Those of you that have compromised, that have took a purse, you Judases, woe unto you. You couldn't wait. You couldn't suffer. People that sell out, they don't want to suffer. They don't want to have a hard life. Woe unto you that are full, for you shall hunger. Woe unto you that lust. See, full with what? The riches of this world, the delicacies of this world. Woe unto you that laugh now, for ye shall mourn and weep. Okay? This is the people of this world. Woe unto you when all men shall speak well of you. Okay? You false prophets. For so did their fathers to the false prophets. So if everybody's speaking well of you, it's because you cater to this world. There's obviously something you're doing that these people lack, that are of the world. Okay? But I say unto you which hear, love your enemies, do good to them which hate you. And that's what we do. See, that's what our spiritual man's going to do. We have many enemies in this truth that may smile in your face, go behind closed doors, put curses on you. But this is what individuals are so carnal. When you do that to a man of the Lord, that curse is going to return upon you, especially if you're wicked. Bless them that curse you. So that's what I do. I bless them and pray for them which despitefully use you. And with you blessing them that curse you, that curse is going to be reversed and it's going to fall upon them and they're going to end up doing videos in the bugged out spirit. Okay? That's what you're supposed to do. And pray for them which despitefully use you, because that can happen as well at times. Okay? But with this lesson, I hope this was edifying. And these are just the things to look out for in these end days. Okay? When we go into prophecy, we go into the RFID chip, we go into all this different stuff. But this is a part of prophecy, that you would have false prophets in these last days. Okay? So with this lesson, I hope this was edifying. And until the next time, Shalom to the hopeful elect. Shalom.